Hello and welcome to True Audio Files. My name's Jim Carter. So, today I'm going to talk about the craziest obsession records I own. And I'll go into that in a little bit more detail shortly, but before I get too far into this, I wanted to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you like what you see here, and like this video if you like it. Hopefully you do, and please make some comments if you would like to as well. That helps me out quite a bit. But so before I get too deep into this week's video, what I like to do at the beginning of every week's video is go over some of the new records I bought this week. So first up on the agenda is the two new tone poets. We've got Paul Chambers Quartet's bass on top, and then Lee Morgan, the Raja, I believe it is, which my understanding is that I believe it was a kind of a post-death release that the Blue Note made, and this is a reissue of that, mastered from the original analog tapes. Then I found a great bargain at Target. It was a Target exclusive Lemonade vinyl color, and it was on clearance for like 17 bucks. So I said, well, hey, why not? I liked the album quite a bit. Didn't want to spend 30 bucks on it, but 17 bucks I was good with. So that was my bargain of the week that I was able to pick up. Okay, so this week I wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun and talk about records that I seem to want to pick up every time I see them. There is a somewhat of a valid reason for it, although not necessarily one that is sensible. But who says we're always sensible when it comes to our vinyl collections, especially, right? I have two that I really have an addiction to, for lack of a better term. There are definitely several other titles that I can honestly say I will pick up several copies of. One that I've actually already mentioned early on is Boston, but most specifically a early pressing, because I'm always out for a well-pressed version that doesn't have much surface noise, and I've yet to find one. So fingers crossed, because that's definitely still the best sounding version of the album, although the half-speed mastered version is actually pretty decent too. So for different reasons. It's kind of six one after the other. You'd have to watch the video that I created about that to see the detail. But anyways, so I have two records that I've chosen for this video to talk about, and I will give you my explanations for them to justify me purchasing so many of them. First up is The Police, Synchronicity. And as you can see, I've got a lot of different copies of this. Now, the reasoning and rationale behind this is, I don't know if everybody knows the story of this, but there are, I want to say, 34 different variations of the cover. I'll just show you the top three covers, the top three that I took off the top of here. And if you could take a look, you can see that all of these have different covers. And I think I'm up to probably about 12 or 13 of the different cover variations. I don't suspect that I'm going to get anywhere near the 34. I've kind of slowed down over the past couple years, and because it's harder and harder to find ones that I don't already have. But and I might have some doubles in here, but as you can see, I've got quite a few. And most of them are different covers. So that is the reasoning for the obsession on this anyways. And if I can find one cheap, I'll take a look and try to pick one up. Usually those ones are cheap. So every once in a while you'll see them be pretty expensive, but overall they're usually pretty cheap. So that's my obsession, for my first obsession. Police Synchronicity. It's a great album too, by the way, but I have, as you see, the Japanese pressing, which I really like. The next up is Rolling Stones, Some Girls. And again, as you can see, I've got several. Now, this one, the obsession is more the first pressing. And I say this because here's one of the first pressings. The biggest reason being, as you could probably see, all the faces in the cutouts here. Some of them were later taken off, as you can see by this reissue that came out later. And they were for people like Lucille Ball and Marilyn Monroe and Eliza Minnelli's right here. But I think basically, I think there's Marilyn Monroe right there. Basically all the famous people that were in here that weren't members of the Rolling Stones were taken off in subsequent releases, as you could see. But the first pressing, or first sets of pressings that came out, all had these. And here's another one. This is actually a Japanese one, which is definitely the best sounding version I have. But you can see here's Lucille Ball on this one. This actually also has a variant where they got the colors where the other ones were black and white, and there's a couple of them. Like here's another one that I found. Basically the same as the Japanese, but a US pressing, I believe, is this one. And they actually had different pictures on both sides. If you take it out, you have kind of full black and white on one side, and then kind of colored in stuff on the other. But as you can see, like Marilyn Monroe, Lucille Ball. I'm not sure of all the other ones. I think that's Farrah Fawcett and Elizabeth Taylor down there. You know, and on this side, I don't know all of them, but yeah, again, if you look on this one, you got Marilyn Monroe, Liza Minnelli, and a couple others. So that got taken off because a couple of the women sued because they didn't want to be on the cover. So now every time I come across one that is a original press, I have to go and grab it. So you can see this one actually still has some shrink wrap hype sticker and Peaches Records price tag on it. So yeah, this actually looks like another variation on the color too, which is it's kind of similar to the Synchronicity thing, where you've actually got three different color variations, if I'm not mistaken, too. And this is a promo copy, which I definitely could not pass up. So, but anyway, short video for this week. I just wanted to kind of have a fun one. What is your obsessive record that you have in your collection, or obsessive records? Do you have a couple different ones that you get every time you come out when you see one in good condition? Or are you just not as obsessed as I am about certain records? At least I feel I have a valid excuse, right? But anyways, love to hear your thoughts. Please make comments down below. And I appreciate you checking out my videos. And you guys have yourself a great week.